My name is Marcus Hunt. I'm a professional poverty fighter, and I lead the unhoused outreach for mutual aid. Well, personally, my experience as an unhoused individual living in St. Louis is that the services are just non-existent. The majority of the help comes from individuals or separate nonprofits that have taken on the charge, seen the need, and just set out to meet it. Systemically, if anything, organizations that should be out here speaking for us and representing us outright make it harder for us to survive.
Where are some of the areas that you live here with you work?
So I spent a majority of my time downtown St. Louis, but I was far down the Rock Road as far as St. Anne, St. John, Breckenridge. I've been further down there towards the riverfront. I've been in the Soulard area. Almost every area that you can live that has any, population of services, I've lived in for a while.
Okay, so what were the physical or living experience like? How did you live? Where did you live?
So average day for me is a little different than most people because I almost live off the land. There's plenty of grocery stores. There's plenty of odd jobs, labor to do. You can survive as long as you know how to keep your head down and not be a nuisance to the community. A regular day, let's say it was a day that I slept in the shelter. They'll put you up the shelter at 5 a.m. They give you a bus ticket. So you decide what area of the city you want to be in. I usually would either choose downtown or the Soulard because the Soulard has the farmer's market. And they double your stamps at the farmer's market. That's a good place to start in the day. You can get your breakfast. You can get going. And then a lot of times you can find some work unloading those trucks. So around this time, it's probably 7 a.m. I have a couple bucks in my pocket. I have some breakfast. I'm on to the entertainment portion of my day. I need to make it down to the library to charge my phone, to, interact with people and do the things I need to do to try to make some progress in my life.
So at some point, you have a long history of being unhoused. In what point or how many years into your home did you come in contact with St. Louis Missionary?
I'd say I was about maybe 5, 6 years into chronic homelessness when I came into direct contact with mutual aid. This was after we began providing for ourselves, So it was a weird period in time where COVID came and all the services just got cut off. So we organized and we came to the St. Louis government and asked them, what are your plans for us? What are you going to do to help us survive? And they basically told us that we have no plan for the unhoused community aside from what we've already done, which is next to nothing. So we organized ourselves and began to make sure that we could stay safe, make sure that we could survive on our own power.
Then how did you get to Mutual?
Mutual Aid was at first was the best direct platform that we had. Every other organization that we first talked to when we started to organize never wanted us to tell our tale, never wanted to directly platform any of the people that were organizing from the ground. It almost seemed as if it was like, these are the people that are unhoused and they're not part of the solution and they don't know what they need. These are the organizations that are helping. This is who you talk to. Mutual Aid was the first organization to let us speak and let us organize in a way that we can make positive changes.
So we know of a lot of the organizations in the metropolitan area that support the unhoused community. But if I'm hearing you correctly, you're saying the services or what they're funded to do was not meeting the needs of yourself, like.
So there's day-to-day survival needs that are being met. There's people that hand out things that you need to survive, such as your jackets, your sandwiches, your tents, your coats. But in terms of you taking steps to change your position, a lot of that work isn't being done. A lot of that is supposed to be funded through federal money, and that's just not the reality of the case.
Let's get into that more. So when we talk about how the unhoused community want to create systems for themselves, get themselves out of their situations, but it's more to that, how you are limited your ability to choose your own life and how you can empower that.
So absolutely. One of the main things to understand is the day-to-day survival aspects of being unhoused makes it tremendously difficult to change your situation. The longer that you're unhoused, it makes it harder to get out the situation. You really need an individual to respect your onus and know that you have part of the solution to your problem. You're going to come to an organization, you're going to say, I'm in this situation. I probably need a bus pass, a place to sleep, and a job. These are the 3 things that I need: is shelter, a way to earn income and a place where I can, stack up this income. That's not directly provided by any organization. So you have to set out to provide those things yourself. An unhoused individual in the city of St. Louis has to make sure that he makes it to his first paycheck with nowhere to sleep, with nothing to eat. And that's one of the main problems that we had. And that's why we organized the way that we did. We wanted to make sure that if an individual chose to go to work today, at the end of a hard day of work, they can go to this area of the city, they can be provided for, they could get something to eat, and they knew that they would be given a safe place to sleep. At the very least, those things would be provided for them.
Can you speak to, as you shift out of homelessness, how can you play a role in allowing you to shift your trajectory from how?
Mutual aid allowed me to do everything that I wanted to do in the way that I wanted to do it. Anytime I came with a plan, they allowed me to execute it in the way that I saw it fit in my mind. Like, prime example was when I was homeless some years ago, I was staying at the Biddle Housing Opportunity Center. I started a business. I created a nonprofit and I organized a fundraising gala. They told me that I couldn't go do this fundraising gala because it was after the hours that I was supposed to be in my bed. Mutual Aid is an organization that I know that if they had been running a shelter, they would have made those provisions for me to keep my bed and still do the things that I needed to do to make progress in my personal life. It's almost as if when you try to maintain these shelter rules, it handicaps you. I can think of a couple times where I was doing some labor and I had to tell my boss, I have to leave. I have to go get my bed and I have to leave now or else I'm not going to have my bed. But if it would have been a low paid job, a W-2 job, that would have been fine. A huge issue I had again with being self-employed while I was going through this homeless situation was nothing is respected. So a lot of the construction labor I did was paying me great money, but because it was, being paid in this way, they did not respect it. I had to pass up on a lot of jobs and a lot of labor opportunities in order to keep a bed, to the point I was like, I'm just not going to do the shelters. So I'm an individual who experienced chronic homelessness, and there's years that I did not sleep in a shelter bed. It wasn't suitable for me to try to make progress and deal with the shelter system.
We shift gears. Can you speak to the unhoused community and bring our class identification and the necessary tools to then advocate for themselves? What is that experience like?
You are screwed. You are screwed. One of the things that led to my chronic homelessness was I happen to have been born in the state of Alaska. So Alaska wants to see your ID to give you a birth certificate, and Missouri wants to see your birth certificate to give you an ID. So I was in an infinite, endless loop of being almost like an illegal immigrant in my own country. So I could not apply for jobs. I could not apply for stamps. I was just walking around here trying not to commit a crime. That's the situation that you're in. Unless one of these organizations comes and helps you, that's the situation that you're in. I was lucky that I was able to find a third-party organization that if you were able to give them $120, they will give you your birth certificate, and that's just what it is.
I can go down that rabbit hole further, but I won't. And I want to go deeper into currently, where are you staying now, if you don't mind sharing it? How is that situation connected to you two or some of your friends in it?
So right now I'm at 3915 Greer Avenue, which is a house that I was able to get into because, I was able to earn money and work via mutual aid. So I was able to save my last month's in deposit and do things the correct way. This is an opportunity that I was never afforded in the shelter system. There's not enough stability for you to last 90 days unless you're doing things that are honestly like not going to be beneficial to you. That's why we have a lot of people that have been in these homeless shelters for years. The only people that can survive in these places are people that are comfortable living this kind of lifestyle.
So this particular home was just a home that's mutual, correct?
It's actually not directly connected to mutual aid.
So how is it, is it a home that someone?
No, so it's through the Hocho Family Foundation.
Hocho, okay.
And that's that was something that we decided to do for me,
for you,
so that I could get myself in order. So right now the house is owned by the Hocho Foundation, and we have a mortgage on it, so that I'm not responsible for the repairs of it and things of that nature, because that would have been too much for me to try to juggle in terms of running this outreach business, getting myself in order, and taking the ownership of the house. Understand, even the place you live is a ginormous responsibility. That's why a lot of times we like to get people into situations to where they are renting at first so that they don't have the burden of taking care of the yard, taking care of the house, taking care of the repairs.
So the Hocho Family Foundation, which Julia Home is the daughter, the founder, has made it possible for you to own your own home and support may see individuals that were once unhoused that are now shifting their lives too. Am I right?
So inadvertently, it allowed me to do things the way that I wanted to do it because this is my space and I can run it the way that I want to do it. I chose to turn it into a transitionary home. We're working the kinks out of it now so that it can be something that St. Louis can be very proud of, but it's hard. We're dealing with a population that has been underserved for a period of over 10 years, and there's a lot of groundwork that needs to be done with a large swath of this population. So we're doing everything that we can in terms of individually equipping people with the skills that they need so that they can stand on their own 2 feet. We're doing everything that we can to equip the population as a whole so that it can exist in the way that it wants to exist.
So what can people do right now for this work in St. Louis? What are at least 3 things you would like to see them do right now? What are the action they can take?
I would like for you to freeze water when it is hot out. Freeze water. You can do this. Get you some bottles of water, freeze them, and hand them out to somebody in need. I would like for you to go to an organization that you're already involved in, whether it is a church, whether it is a school. I would like for you to get them to assist in us getting the materials that we need for individuals to survive. And always, 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 you can always donate money to mutual aid, St. Louis Mutual Aid. You can find me on Facebook. My name is Marcus Hunt. I always say it like this. We want people to activate. We want people to use their skills to help people. But if you're an individual that all you can do is donate money, we make that possible as well. Donate to St. Louis Mutual Aid.